Absolutely not looking pretty at all. Good morning to you, Harsh, and good morning to all our viewers as well. Just taking a look at what the global setup is looking like. Let's start by looking at what the US markets are. Of course, the GIFT Nifty is implying a negative open of about 200 points for us. But overnight, let's take a look at what the US markets have done. Massive pressure on Wall Street. Like you can see, you have the Dow that's lower by about 2% or a good 950 point cut coming in on the Dow Jones overnight. So that's a significant shave off coming in. The S&P is also lower by more than 1.5%. Nasdaq has seen a cut of 2%. So that tech rout and that AI related stocks and the chip sell-off that continues, that we have seen playing out on Nasdaq, continues on Wall Street, and that's the reason why Nasdaq is under pressure. The biggest talking point is, of course, the US CPI, and like Harsh mentioned, in line with estimates, but the estimates were only so high at 0.2%. It's an uptick on a month-on-month basis. In April, it came at 3.8%. It's a very sharp jump coming in at 4.2%. Obviously, much higher than the Fed's comfortable band of 2% that they've been targeting for inflation all along. And this is also at a 3-year high, this 4.2% number on the inflation front. Even the core CPI was largely in line with what the street was estimating, and that has come in at 2.9%. The estimate was also 2.9%, so much higher than what the Fed has been targeting all along. Other than that, we've got some comments from Donald Trump. We'll listen into his comments on inflation as well. But other than that, he has said that the US military has launched multiple strikes on Iran. Iran should strike a deal with the United States is what Trump is urging. He's saying the US wants a meaningful and directive agreement as well. So that's the comment coming in from Donald Trump. And he's saying that Iran is taking too long to negotiate and they will have to pay the price for that. So that's the comment coming in from Donald Trump. Just taking a look at what the US 10-year bond yield has done, that continues to spike. Now at 4.548 is where the US bond yield is. Let's take a look at what the European markets have done. Largely mixed day of trade coming in from Europe, but mostly under pressure in tandem with what the rest of the world was doing. Stock 600 was absolutely flat. The DAX has seen a cut of about 1%. FTSE was higher by 0.3%. So that's the speck of green that we've seen in the European markets. But speaking of Asia this morning, opened largely under pressure. You've got the Nikkei that's down by about 0.8% as we speak. Hang Seng is seeing further pressure, 1.5% cut almost over there. Shanghai is lower by about 0.5%. So that's the kind of moves that we're seeing. And Nikkei has seen further pressure and is falling in trade as we speak as well. Australia also lower by 0.4%. So that's the kind of move that we've seen on the global equity front. Now coming to commodities. Oil saw a little bit of a spike when US launched a fresh attack on Iran. Cooled off slightly from there, but continues to be slightly higher because you've still got about a 2% uptick coming in on Brent and is around $94.7 a barrel. Continues to stay below 95. But take a look at WTI. That spiked up once again above 90 and significantly at that because $92 a barrel is where the WTI oil is right now with an uptick of about 2%. On the flip side, what has cooled off significantly is the precious metals. Saw a little bit of a dip for gold and silver both. Gold was lower by about 3.5% last night, has recovered from there, is seeing cuts of about just 0.5% right now and continues to hover around that $4,100 per ounce mark. Similarly for silver, the cuts were quite elevated but has recovered now. It's seeing cuts of about 1.25% and continues to be around $63 to $64 per ounce. So very much lower than that 70 mark that we have seen in recent times for silver. So that's a roundup of all the global equities as well as commodities. We've taken a look at what Donald Trump had to say. Responding to that, we've got comments coming in from Mr. Masood Pezeshkian, who is the president of Iran. And he says that Trump targeting critical infrastructure, that is the lifeline and the lifeblood of the people, to target them from transportation networks to electricity to water industries shows not a sign of strength but a sign of desperation from the US, and this is in the face of a nation's will. Iran is going to rely on its knowledge and capabilities of its specialists, national unity and solidarity, and they will stand firm against any pressure or threat. So that's the word coming in from the president of Iran. But also listen in to what Donald Trump had to say and his comments on the CPI number that has been reported in the US last evening.
The number